Hey everyone, I said I had another list video coming soon, so here it is, my top 5 haunted places in Britain. They're in no particular order of preference, except the last one on the list is my favourite because it's the only one I've actually been to. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 1. Watersworks Valley in Jersey. So apparently a long time ago a young woman went to St Lawrence Church to be married, but her groom never arrived and she was so sad that evening she killed herself. And now once a year her ghost drives down the valley trying to find her disloyal fiancé. The best known witness story of this phantom bride is that some years ago a couple were walking home through Waterworks Valley, and as it reached midnight they heard a peal of bells. They began to walk faster and then realised that they were wedding bells. A bridal procession slowly appeared round the corner, consisting of a coach drawn by 6 horses, with footmen and a coachman. As the coach passed, the couple looked inside at the bride, dressed in her magnificent white wedding dress. However, the bride had no face, just a skull under a veil. Number 2. The Rectory in Essex. This house has been labelled the most haunted house in England. The building used to be a monastery. However, according to local folklore, a nun from a nearby nunnery fell in love with a monk from the monastery, and the pair attempted to elope together, but they were found and sentenced to death. The monk was reported to have been sent to the gallows in the monastery, whilst the nun was sealed into the walls of the nunnery alive. The nun is believed to be the one that is seen on the grounds, looking for the monk in the hope of running away together. Over the years there have been reports of footsteps, doorbells ringing on their own, and poltergeist activity such as smashing glasses, broken windows, mysterious messages on the walls, and one of the occupants being thrown from her bed by an unseen force. Even after the house was burnt down, reports continued to emerge. Number 3. Longden Valley, Northern England. There are several reports of bright lights around Longden Valley, and people who live there have said to have seen the phenomenon many times, sometimes being big balls of light and other times being a few smaller balls. The two main theories behind this phenomenon are either elemental spirits that made the valley their home long ago, or the spirits of Roman soldiers and the lights being the flames of their torches. Personally, although the Roman soldiers theory sounds more plausible at first, that would only explain the smaller balls of light and not the bigger balls of light that people have seen as well. Number 4. Hampton Court Palace. There are a few ghosts said to haunt Hampton Court Palace: Catherine Howard, Sybil Penn and Skeletor. Yeah, I know the last one sounds a little bit sketchy, but bear with me. Catherine Howard, one of Henry VIII's 6 wives, apparently haunts the gallery where she was dragged screaming back to her room while under house arrest, after being accused of committing adultery by Henry. Her ghost is known as the Screaming Lady. As for Sybil Penn, she was a servant to 4 Tudor monarchs, and her ghost is known as the Grey Lady. The sightings of her ghost began around 1829, when the nearby church at Hampton was rebuilt and her tomb was moved. And as for Skeletor, that is the name given to the ghostly figure who appeared on a CCTV camera in October 2003. I managed to find the CCTV still so that you can have a look for yourself and see what you think. Number 5. Pluckley. There's said to be about 15 to 16 different ghosts or haunting sites in Pluckley, so I'll go through them as quickly as I can. The Screaming Woods. The forest just outside the village of Pluckley is known as the Screaming Woods. Its real name is Daring Woods, and it's said to be full of the screams of long-dead men and women who became lost in the sea of trees. The Highwayman. The ghost known as the Highwayman, who was apparently run through with a sword and pinned to a tree, is now said to appear as a shadowy figure in what is now known as Fright Corner. The Horse-Drawn Coach. The sight and sound of a horse-drawn coach are said to haunt Maltman's Hill, but have also been witnessed in other parts of the village. A couple of the accounts being those of a woman returning home from babysitting and seeing a coach being pulled by horses with a bright light coming from the carriage windows. And in 1977, a person driving through Pluckley around 7 at night was suddenly overwhelmed by the sound of hooves on cobbles inside their car. Gypsy Woman. Said to be the ghost of a gypsy woman who used to sell watercress she found in the stream. She has been seen as a misty figure smoking a pipe at Pinnock Bridge, since she lost her life there after being accidentally burned to death. The Hanging Schoolmaster. There is apparently a schoolmaster who was found hanging in his room during the First World War, and today is said to haunt the grounds, wearing his favourite old coat and stripy trousers. The Hanging Colonel. Another suicide victim, the ghost of a colonel who hanged himself in Park Wood, has been spotted walking among the trees. The wooded area has now been largely cleared, but sightings apparently still continue. The Blacksmith's Arms. This pub is said to be haunted by a Tudor maid, a coachman staring in the fire of the public lounge, and a cavalier roaming around the upstairs rooms. The Brickworks. The best-known Brickworks ghost is the Brickworks labourer, also known as the Screaming Man, who it is said died while working in the brickworks, though reports of exactly how he died differ depending on who you ask. Some say he was crushed by a wall that fell on top of him, others say that he fell down a hole. It's not quite clear, but there are also other reports of ghosts around the brickworks, such as a little girl who lets out a blood-curdling scream. I'm not entirely sure of the other stories of the ghosts. I have been there myself, and it is very, very creepy and eerie, and there were some strange things going on while I was there. St Nicholas's Church is apparently home to two ghosts, or at least two main ghosts. The Red Lady, another common ghost sighting among the many of Pluckley, who was apparently a member of the ancient Dering family. She apparently haunts the church where she was buried in a lead coffin in the crypt, and is in search of the grave of her stillborn baby. She was dubbed the Red Lady because of a rose that was apparently placed on her coffin. The second one is the White Lady, another ghost said to haunt the church, who apparently haunts the inside of the church and the library of her family home, Surrendon Dering, which was destroyed in a fire in 1952. She was seen in the house by employees of the US Embassy, which occupied the building between the two world wars. Richard Dicky Buss. The black silhouette of miller Richard Buss apparently haunts a ruined windmill near the Pinnocks. The mill was shut down by Buss in the 1930s and was then destroyed by a fire in 1939 after being struck by lightning, but it seems his spirit refuses to leave. Apparently his ghost can be seen before a thunderstorm. Greystones. The supernatural presence of a monk is said to haunt the grounds of Greystones. Built around 1863 and originally named Rectory Cottage, home to the curate for St Nicholas Church. It was renamed in 1924 and there have been no reports of unusual activity since then. Rose Court. The ghost of a woman who killed herself after swallowing a batch of poisonous berries is said to have haunted Rose Court for over 250 years. She is thought to be a mistress of a Dering family member and can be heard calling for her two dogs between the hours of 4 and 5 p.m, the supposed timing of her death. The Black Horse Pub. Items, usually clothing, have been reported missing and then mysteriously reappear days later. The building was apparently once a farmhouse surrounded by a moat that was home to the local bailiff. This could be linked to a spirit called the Walker, who is said to haunt the farmhouse and is blamed for the poltergeist activity in the area. People have also reported the smell of burning wool or yarn. The Dering Arms Pub. Forming an old hunting lodge, this pub is allegedly haunted by an old lady wearing a bonnet. The apparition is said to be so clear and lifelike that punters have mistaken her for a real customer sitting at a table. So there you have it. Those were my top 5 haunted places in Britain. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I got some posts today just as I was recording the voiceovers for this video, so hopefully that'll be some more makeup so I can do some more review videos soon. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, share, all that stuff. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.